Last week, we started this series by talking about how the pain and problems of the world can sometimes leave us asking the question, where's God? But today I want to get a little more personal. Today I want to talk about how it feels when the pain and the problems show up in our own lives. And it doesn't matter if it's a bully at school or the loss of a friendship or a loved one or an unexpected illness or some sort of difficulty at home. It's inevitable that at some point in your life, you'll experience some sort of deep hurt. And when life is painful, it can make us start to wonder, when I'm hurting, why does God feel so far away? In March of 2020, we were struck with a global pandemic. And everyone was hurt by the pandemic in some way. Maybe you were stuck at home for a long time, or you had seen a family member who lost a job, or you had an important event canceled or postponed, or you went way too long without getting a hug or a handshake or a high five from someone you loved. Or maybe you experienced fear and anxiety like you had never experienced before. Or maybe you even lost a friend or a family member. And even though the whole world was impacted at the same time and they were hurting in some of the same ways, many of us felt alone and isolated and far away from others, but also from God. And sometimes we think we aren't allowed to ask certain questions of God, but the Bible is full of people who express deep frustration about what God does and doesn't do when people are hurting or in trouble. Check out the words of this psalm, Psalm 22. It's a psalm written by King David, which the Bible calls a man after God's own heart. And this is what King David wrote in Psalm 22. My God, why have you abandoned me? Why are you so far away when I groan for help? Every day I call to you, my God, but you do not answer. Every night I lift up my voice, but I find no relief. But I am a worm and not a man. I am scorned and despised by all. Everyone who sees me mocks me. They sneer and shake their heads, saying, is this the one who relies on the Lord? Then let the Lord save him. If the Lord loves him so much, then let the Lord rescue him. Do not stay far from me, for trouble is near, and no one else can help me. These may be some of the loudest and most painful words a person could ever pray. God, why have you abandoned me? Why are you so far away? Centuries after the Psalms were written and people were expressing their pain and hurt from God, they were quoted by someone else who was in pain. When Jesus was being executed, he cried out to God and quoted from Psalm 22. He said, my God, why have you forsaken me? And there's been a ton of discussion about why Jesus would say these words. But one thing is for certain. Jesus spoke these words from a place of deep pain, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. So the psalm writers, they ask questions like, God, have you abandoned me? And Jesus asked questions like, God, have you abandoned me? It's okay when you're hurting to ask, why do you feel so far away? But there is an answer. In Romans chapter 5, verse 6, the Apostle Paul wrote this to the Christians in Rome. He said, when we were utterly helpless, Christ came at the right time and died for us sinners. See, one of the things that the Bible is also clear about is even though God can feel really far away, it's when we're going through difficult times and when we're in pain that God is actually really close to us. With Jesus, God didn't keep his distance. God became a human named Jesus so that we could hear from God himself. Jesus, we're told, is the exact representation of God. In other words, if you want to know what God is like, all you have to do is look at Jesus. And when we look at Jesus, here's what we see. God isn't far away. In Jesus, God came to earth to be close to us. God doesn't leave us when we're hurting. In Jesus, God actually came to earth in order to reach out to us. God isn't disconnected from our pain and our hurt. In Jesus, God lived a whole life on earth and then suffered and died. Because of Jesus' humanity, God understands our pain. God doesn't ignore our hurt. Jesus shows us God's heart is full of compassion and love and care for us. So if you've ever wondered, when I'm hurting, why does God seem so far away, so distant? Remember this. Jesus does not abandon you. In fact, he does the exact opposite. In your pain, he's not far away. He's actually reaching out for you.